Basketball is something that brings us joy no matter what the year is. And especially within the new year, we want to see how basketball evolves as it has constantly done throughout many seasons. But something that maybe casual fans and even hardcore fans might not find as entertaining is the business aspect of it. And I'm not talking about trades or signing free agents, stuff that the commissioner would probably handle, or business things between the owners. Now, some of this does affect us in terms of watching things. The commissioner is the guy who kind of keeps all of that pretty much in a neat manner. And David Stern was able to usher in a new era. He was able to handle various lockouts and overall make a lot of significant changes that helped the NBA grow to become what it is today. From the tangible results that we kind of have today, it's really important to acknowledge the fact that his contributions are second to none when it comes to us enjoying basketball. And it is with a heavy heart that, unfortunately, I have to say, he passed away yesterday on the 1st of 2020, and it was due to a brain hemorrhage that left him hospitalized on December 17th. Now, we hadn't gotten any news after that. Pretty much was quiet, and everyone was just kind of hoping that he would recover, but unfortunately he did not. At age 77, David Stern left us for good. It just is unfortunate that a member of the NBA family has passed away, and for someone who made the big contributions that he did, it's even more heartbreaking. Sometimes people get hurt, and sometimes that means you need crutches. This is the injury portion of NBA Overview, Crutches Corner, where I talk about, things related to those things. Johnathan Issac suffered a potential hyperextended left knee in the game against the Wizards. The Orlando Magic did go on to win 122-103, but the loss of Johnathan Issac is probably something they're going to feel. This is a very defensive team. They are 12th in defensive rating. They don't really have much of an offense, rated at 27th, and their record currently stands at 15-19, which leaves them in the A seed. The loss of Johnathan Issac, a defensive MVP sort of guy for that team, who was slowly but surely raising his overall offensive game, although the coaching does not really lend itself to having a sort of diverse offense. When you have a re-emerging Markelle Fultz, a Human Torch in Terrence Ross, Evan Fournier, and all-star Nikola Vucevic, it should be a solid team, and that's kind of what the Magic are, but they definitely lean more towards defense. They're sort of Jazz East if Jazz East had, if like the Jazz didn't have as much offensive firepower as they currently do, and if their center was not a defensive force. When it comes to the Magic, it'll be interesting to see how they sort of replace, or at least try to survive, the potential loss of Isaac for I don't know how long, because it hasn't yet been revealed yet what the actual injury is. Hyperextended left knee is the first report, but apparently he hasn't gotten a diagnosis yet. So we will see what happens with Isaac in the future, but right now the Magic will have to do without his services. And currently sitting at the 8th seed, they're going to have the Bulls nipping at their heels. So depending on if the Bulls can ever garner any kind of consistency, and they've been having their own troubles this year, so it'll be difficult to really gauge that. Bulls nipping at their heels for the 8th seed. It'll be interesting to see if they can maintain it. I have a feeling they might be able to maintain it. They're a pretty solid team, and the loss isn't too devastating, but it could be. Johnathan Issac improving as he did, and people kind of hoping to see that improvement, is just unfortunately disappointing for any Orlando Magic fan or any fan of basketball. Zion Williamson, the guy who literally, when he gets injured, it causes a complete firestorm of debate. A lot of people have been debating what the Pelicans should do, since with Zion being injured, they haven't been very good. But they haven't been very good to such a detrimental degree, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people forecasted that the Pelicans were going to have a sort of interesting, feisty team, but due to what could be considered a very devastating injury, Zion Williamson has been out for a considerable amount of time. In January, the month we are inhabiting right now, looks to be a potential return month for him. Now, there hasn't been any confirmed dates. The only thing I believe is that he did practice with the team, but they have not yet confirmed what day he would be coming back. The only thing we know is that he could potentially come back. So pretty much at this point, Zion is like that one album from one of your favorite artists. You don't know if they're actually going to drop it or not, but you hope that they do. It would be interesting to see. The Pelicans, only the sort of other bright spot for the Pelicans beyond this potential good, very good news, is that Brandon Ingram has been on fire, and not just on fire, he might be a freaking supernova when it comes to his scoring and play for the Pelicans. He's been one of the only bright spots. Unfortunately, Lonzo Ball has suffered from the same inconsistencies that have plagued him, while Josh Hart has been solid and Kenrich Williams has had a lot of hustle. It hasn't, unfortunately, translated to many wins, but they have been kind of on the come up lately, so adding Zion will be very interesting, and I can't wait to see if he actually comes back, because I don't want to hear about season ticket holders. I just want him to be healthy and be able to have a winning career, because anybody who gets in the NBA and works that hard deserves to be able to have a good career. Hopefully Zion can come back and the Pelicans can start really not bowing down. You want to make a deal? You want to sign this contract? You want to make a transaction with me? Well, that's a question that a lot of NBA teams ask all the time. Probably not in that fashion where it sounds like they're kind of low-key mafia. When it comes to transactions, yes, there's a lot, and there's a lot of different things that can happen. So let's take a quick look. First off, Darren Collison has returned from retirement, and that was already a weird thing in itself. Last season's free agency was just a fun bonanza initially, and then it kind of just kept being fun and weird until it just finally, the fireworks just calmed down. What we got for Darren Collison was, from Darren Collison, was sort of this very unexpected retirement in which he kind of was just like, yeah, I like my family, and I really want to be a Jehovah's Witness, like to the best of my ability. There is nothing wrong with embracing your religion, and there's nothing wrong with embracing your family. And so if he felt as if the game of basketball had given him everything he could ever want, and he gave it as much as he could to basketball, perfectly fine. But now it seems as though he has had a second thought, and that second thought has turned into him potentially wanting to come back for either the Lakers or Clippers. The Lakers kind of have needed a playmaker. Everybody's been saying that they need a third playmaker to initiate the offense when LeBron goes to the bench, or AD, or both of them on the bench. They need somebody who can playmake, and they have not been able to find that person. I don't think Darren Collison is that answer, because most people have said that it would have to be someone at the superstar level. But if he's playing a solid role as a solid starting point guard, it's kind of hard to argue this being a detriment to the Lakers. The Clippers, they seem pretty much like they're not really hurting for depth at the point guard spot. They have Patrick Beverley, they have Lou Williams, they have Paul George, they have Kawhi, they have Landry Shamet, they have tons of players that can, like, they have playmakers on their team, and they have a good amount in the way that they've been sort of doing load management. It doesn't feel as though the Clippers have that many weaknesses. I know the popular one is big man depth, so if that's where they're leaning, I don't think Darren Collison is really going to move the needle for them or be someone they want to sign. Along with that, Andre Iguodala is still floating around. Pretty much Memphis only wants to trade him for picks. I don't know if the Lakers or Clippers are going to hold out from an Darren Collison type player in order to try and find a way to gather assets and attain him, because both of these teams have spent considerable amount of assets to get the current teams that they have, and those current iterations were pretty darn expensive. Paul George did not cost just one pick. He probably cost at least a century's worth of middle schoolers whose names we don't know right now. And Anthony Davis did not cost one pick. He cost, I just said it right now, I just said the same thing, literally. With that in mind, Darren Collison could end up on one of these two teams, but I'm personally not sure which one it's going to end up. Other things that have happened. Dewayne Dedmon randomly, out of kind of nowhere, I was out, as you can see I'm back now, when I was out, Dewayne Dedmon decided to just request a trade, but like not, he was just like, I'm done with Sacktown. It just kind of felt like a normal, like a random pin dropping somewhere, and you kind of just don't care. He's not someone that could necessarily move the needle on a rebuilding team, and maybe that's why he wants out, because he's been a part of the Hawks. He was there when they were in the middle of a rebuild. He didn't really get there before that, and he was on Sacktown, and it seemed as though Sacramento was improving last year, but they fired the coach, got a new coach, and the way I guess that they've been run, they hadn't been doing well, and now they're kind of back to being sort of inconsistent when we were hoping for them to have some sort of growth, especially when they were pushing for the playoffs last year. It'll be interesting to see what team could pick them up, because again, I already said, there's a lot of teams that are starved of assets because they have made such big moves. I just talked about the Clippers. Houston did a lot to get Russ. I don't know if they're going to pull anything else. It'll be interesting to see if somehow contenders snap him up. Maybe Boston goes for him. I know that people have been talking about they need a big body, and Dewayne Dedmon can stretch the floor as well, so he wouldn't hurt a team. He also just got fined 50,000 of them G's. I'm guessing this is in relation to the whole Anthony Davis fiasco of the yesteryear, which feels like it's been like a million years since that happened. But yeah, I know that they technically fined Davis too for that, but I guess they're just like, okay, I gotta stop requesting trades like out loud, like just stop saying it. I mean, I can get NBA's stance on this because it just sometimes just causes unnecessary sort of beef between player and city. I think that's where it's like hard for the NBA to just kind of fine a guy so much. I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, it also does garner some attention, even if it's very, very tiny. I'm sure no one really cares that much about Edmonds' request to trade from Sacramento, but it's kind of funny. We've had that was all of the potential transactions. I mean, Kevin Love's still floating around, and the trade deadline nears closer. But yeah, as far as those things go, we don't really have. That's it. Well, this guy says it's 2020, so to celebrate, I'm gonna spin this ball 2,020 times. Here we go. I can't. Dang it. Okay, maybe this is a little harder than I thought. So we're gonna just try one time. There we go. Okay, cut. Cut it down. All right. 2020.